Welcome, everybody.
Yeah,
Sunday, what's happening? Got my buddy over here, Chris Old Exploration. Very excited to be hanging out with you, man.
happy to be here, brother. Happy to be here.
Um, so how's the weather up there, by the way?
Well, it's about as warm as I've ever seen it for March 17th. Getting up to 15 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I can do a search, I guess.
Yeah, I do. I can't calculate it. It's been rainy here and around 70. But
We,
uh,
we're uh, we're facing another really dry summer, I think, up here.
yeah, we had one last year and about 5 years previously, and it seems like that it's coming.
Yeah.
But
So it
great to
looks like
have you, man. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
15 is about 60 Fahrenheit, just to translate that over to.
Okay, nice job.
It's a search, quick search.
It's never the same. There's not like a formula really for it. It skips
No,
numbers. It's so weird. I don't
and
know.
eventually it meets too, doesn't it? Like once you get now around the zero or just below zero, I think it kind of merges. It's
Yeah,
weird. Yeah,
uh, but
I
great
got
to
some.
have you. And yeah, you want to talk a little bit about the your radio and TNT with you
Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah, that
uh,
was what 2 weeks ago now, right?
yeah,
I think the TNT radio. I didn't know much about it. They're really independent international radio station, right? That covers a lot of government corruption, the whole COVID thing, and a lot of that stuff. I don't think they get too deep into this territory. The old world or the melted realm. So we gave them a little introduction to the research.
yeah, y'all did a great job. If anyone wants to see that, it's on both your channels, I believe. It's on the community part of
Yeah,
your YouTube channels.
yeah. I thought Kairos really laid it out well. Very well spoken and well thought out gentleman. You know, so
Yes, he's a
hats off to
great
him.
speaker.
Yeah,
And before we get started, I do want to. I had a party foul on about a month ago or so on one of my videos, and I was telling people that this was available. Your two books on Amazon, which is not. It's on Lulu, and if you just go to Chris's channel, in his description box, that's where these books you can find those. So just want to apologize for that, Chris.
hey, thanks for clearing that up, Mark. Amazon booted me after about 2.5 weeks. Right after John Levi actually gave me the book, the recommendation on one of his videos. So all of a sudden the book sales are going nuts, and all of a sudden Amazon. What I did is actually I tried to release a 2-in-1, like a hardback cover where you get all 202 buildings, and then I
Uh,
I think I violated their terms with that one, and I missed the time frame to pull it, and I think that's what got me booted off Amazon. I don't think it was really anything else. Now that I look at it, yeah,
huh,
it's kind of weird, right? So you
that
can't you
is
can't
weird.
can't publish the same information twice. They do their scan and they find it. And I didn't know enough. I was just playing around with the resource. But so I had like almost 2 grand in Canadian dollars withheld in profits from, or what is it called, royalties.
Yeah.
So when they freeze your account, they freeze your royalties. They keep your royalties as well.
Oh wow. So lesson learned: nobody puts your books on Amazon.
I wouldn't now. And there's other, like, I should have shopped around before I knew. Lulu's one of like a half dozen that I could find that do the exact same thing, and I haven't had a problem with them now in 2.5 months. So yeah.
Let's see. Let me get back here. Oh, I'm trying to get some stuff off the screen here. Anyway, let's go through the chat here just a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's popping. So
some familiar faces in there.
yeah, Deborah's she was here earlier, but it's she's sleeping right now probably. So
She's on the underside of the ball, right?
right, she's upside down right now. I mean, we're walking kind of sideways right now where we're at, right?
I'm almost upright up here in northern
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, you're the most level one, right? uh, we got Cheryl. Cheryl.
Right.
Uh, let's see.
Cheryl's in BC
Yeah.
as well, eh? Not far. Well,
Yeah.
far from where I
Yeah.
am, but yeah, still a full day's drive to get down where she is from where I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I figured y'all be closer. Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast is always there, always watching videos. Appreciate the support, Mr. Beast.
Yeah, he's
It's a
Curtis,
beast.
Mr. Beast, and Kairos.
Kairos. We got to
Yeah.
get together soon. We were saying there, Kairos.
Yeah. Let's see. So we were talking earlier. I guess we'll start with you and
All right.
whatever you want to show, and then go from there.
Well, I'm gonna come out of the gates hard here. Um, I always say on my channel that I don't really have any uh, areas, any places that I can really do some decent boots on the ground where I live. Hoping this Google map loads up okay. So I'm up here in this town. And this, like I said, from here to Vancouver, that's about a 7-8 hour drive right there. And I just want to show you. So I went on a trip last year down to this city here, Kamloops, and I went through this place here, Lac La Hache, it's called, and it's a really small little community. And on the side of the road, I see what looks like a melted wall, basically. So this is about 3.5, 4 hours from my home, and I brought home some visual evidence. So don't say old world exploration doesn't do boots on the ground, folks. I'm not just postcards. So this is the example I brought home. This chunk here. Maybe you can help me analyze what we're seeing here,
Well, that's nice. It looks very cooked.
doesn't it?
You can see, looks like a piece of what looks like brick, as far as the angle of it.
Yeah, you can see the facets, right? The sides, the
Mhm.
top. What do you think of those little? See the little crystal, little white things in there too. See these?
Yeah,
That's
I see that so much.
hmm.
Just changing.
Yeah, yeah. And this is like charred. You know, obviously it looks crazy charred, right?
Yes.
To me, that's obviously been. I don't know what even they would say. This is right off the side of the highway. You know, so I don't know if they're going to tell us that's volcanic remains from.
Right. Even though there's probably not a supposed volcano anywhere near it, but
No, that's right. Yeah.
yeah, we I run into all kind of volcanic
Hold on.
lava rock, but there's no volcano around Alabama. So
Hold on. They're saying they can't see it. Can you guys not see what I'm showing?
uh-oh. I see it. Let me see. I don't have my phone on. Let me see here.
Can you guys see what I'm showing? Looking for some feedback here in the chat. Oh,
No,
okay.
well, I see it. It's yeah, I just looked on it on my phone and it's rolling.
Shapu sees it. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So Cheryl, I don't know. You're not seeing it, eh? Okay. She's only got the StreamYard screen. It would be shown on YouTube, I would think, like this, eh?
Yeah, it's you just have to look on YouTube. Either one of our channels has this, so you have to go on YouTube.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh man,
yeah, everybody sees it. So.
I don't want Cheryl to miss this BC boots on the ground evidence here. So.
Yeah, that's a great piece right there.
Right. I know. And looks like I have a couple others from within 2 hours of where I live in the mountains and stuff like that. And it is there, it's there. But I'm kind of happy to present this. Definitely charred on top. You can see that face
Mm-hmm.
there is completely different than what's going on down here.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could explain that as anything else, really.
I don't either. Especially after we're really seeing all this in the past however many years, but everything looks very cooked, um,
Hmm.
cooked,
Yeah,
melted. Um,
totally. Yeah. There's those little bits I was talking about. Yeah. Little parts of the brick that
yeah,
react in a different way to the heat, crystallize.
crystallizing a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. So pretty pumped about some boots to show you guys some boots on the ground. I'm going to make an effort to do a little bit more, and throughout the summer we're going to go do some. There's some cool spots, not far from where when I say not far, I say 4 or 5 hours. Like if you were to drive 5 hours, that would take you probably through a couple states. Is that right, Mark?
yeah. Well, from the bottom end of Alabama to the top is actually 12. I think it's 12, 8 to 12 hours. But I mean, you can get from state to state. I'm in basically the middle of Alabama, and I can get to Georgia in 2 hours or less, and I can get to Mississippi about the same.
Okay.
Um, but now, if I was like 4 or 5 hours away from seeing any kind of melt, I might have a breakdown. I don't.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's why I got to rely on people like you to like I when I watch you going through your local area and walking over all these bricks and metal pipes sticking out, and it's just like Jesus, how could we not see this? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty funny. So I thought I'd share a little bit of a file I have of old Ireland, actually, old world Ireland, evidence of the melt and previous civilization. Um, I don't buy the conventional historical narrative that these were built in, blah blah blah, 16 whatever, and made out of stone. I think we're looking at post cataclysm remains here. Even the way that they're put together, stone wise, like this, it doesn't
Right.
make sense to build that way, does it?
Mm-mm.
Like I think we're looking at they've transformed. The shape has transformed. The material
Yeah.
has undergone some sort of like that leaching of the carbon 14 and
Mhm.
turning to stone, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And your video from yesterday, I watched it. You're talking about the curved bricks and stuff, and
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
In
What you're
Kansas
saying.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, curved face bricks, right? Like perfect radius for whatever they were building on that Board of Trade building, I guess it was.
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing, really. They had
Yeah.
interior curves and exterior curves, like concave and convex, and yeah. And I mentioned Hidden Truth, who's also doing some great work actually on in that area, Kansas and Missouri, and all the. And he's come up to Minnesota. He did some cool work too. I watched one of his videos where he's going around that World War I monument in Kansas City, and all of the walls, it's all fried um, walls, the embankments. It's nothing natural about it. It's all in different stages of post cataclysm melt. It's really interesting.
Yeah. I enjoy his channel. Yes.
Yeah, he does some nice work for sure. These are interesting. You ever seen these? You see these bridges too, where the top row sort of gets jagged. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a style. I think it's a result of heat again.
Exactly. I've seen that in many spots. Patty has too. She's shown some in walls, and then I've seen them in graveyards. And yeah, I do not think that they were built like that. It's a result of the heat somehow.
Hmm. Well, even here you can see how it all kind of blends together. You know,
Mhm.
stops being you stop being able to distinguish where the single piece of rock is. So we're just gonna take a trip through the Emerald Isle here.
Mhm. Look at that.
Yeah, like you can see this, right? And horizontal lines everywhere. Once you see it, it can't be unseen.
So flat, and you have all that rubble down there.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's see here. They've got a lot of these types of ruins as well in Ireland. And like the logic behind who in the hell would stack something like this,
Right.
it's like they had some nice flat whatever stone here is what they'll say, and eventually they ran out of the flat stones and they started having to stack the ugly stones, and they found one that kind of looked like a brick right here, so they shoved it in there sideways.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, they grab whatever they can around the area." Like, well, why are there bricks there too? Which some places don't have bricks that initially, but it just doesn't make sense. It's totally ridiculous.
And then, yeah, and grout and mortar having been cooked out, right? And
Yeah.
so it's hard to see, right? It's trying to wrap your head around this stuff, trying to understand that um, this is not how it was built. This is the after effect. You could see the wall here over looking very much different than this wall here as well.
Hmm.
So different levels of effect from the cataclysm. And this is interesting too. The windows just seems to have slammed shut here. Can't even get an arrow through that one.
No. Yeah, they're kidding.
It's just like whoop.
Yeah.
So again, like training our eyes and brain. I guess brain, not really eyes. I guess training our brain to see what we're actually seeing, or deprogramming or untraining what we were taught to see is the name of the game here. I think.
Right.
And it takes a lot. You have to almost bombard your senses with multiple, multiple pieces of evidence. And I was talking before we went live. I was talking to you about Joachim's um, stuff, right? And like that's what really woke me up to this is just being bombarded with the visuals he was presenting several years ago, his documentaries, and then and his approach too is kind of like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and
It's
it couldn't.
in your face.
Yeah, if you're there and you stick it out by the end of his presentations, there's no other way to explain what you're seeing.
Right.
So hats off to him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like look at more of this stone, right? It's not stone.
Mhm.
It's cooked out.
That visual right there just tells me, all the buildings are just all that used to be level. When you see all those lines going 45-degree angle, it's just melting down or
Yeah, it looks like it's tipped over. You know,
hmm
and then I mean that's again I think a result of having gone through this research a bit, and then you start to see it and understand what it is. Tipped
oh,
over,
yeah.
right? They fell over. Yeah. You keeping an eye on the chat there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I've never been really good at when there's a lot in the chat keeping up with it, but I do my best.
Yeah. So here's a good combination with what we might call bricks, sort of, so, kind of, right? And then under here is all basically one piece. There's no real way to distinguish the separation between what was
Right.
laid in here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, eh?
Yeah.
Ireland is riddled with this type, especially on the west coast, with this type of geography.
Yeah. Ireland's a bit of a honey hole for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and particularly with this gray, what we might call slate rock, whatever. Scotland too. Everything, a lot of it seems to have gone to that color there.
Yeah.
Again, you can see it everywhere, right?
Yeah. It's literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm. How about that one?
Hmm. Toppled over.
Yeah,
Even the bottom, you can see it kind of merging down with whatever it's laying on.
like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right there.
yeah. Very interesting. No snakes. Someone says words matter. That's the story,
Yeah.
right? That's the story.
Yeah. Nice bike.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be a great place to go bike to, don't you think?
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. Like, how do you rationalize how that was built? You know, very difficult.
Yeah. That's why they put hundreds or thousands of years on it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. The slow decay of time is what they want to attribute it to, right? And they can pawn every defect and abnormality off on that. We're gonna see a few of these where you're starting to see the bricks. You could see a bit in the arch here, the color, right?
Yeah. Compressing together.
This is probably the same one we just saw. It is, yeah.
It is.
But completely illogical to build this way, especially with the technology. These aren't primitive builders. You can tell by the way the arches are put together, but the building material appears to be primitive because it's not what it originally was, I think, you know.
Right.
Hey, look at that,
That archway right in the middle of that.
eh? Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
That's kind of unique for sure.
Yeah.
That was actually built by leprechauns.
On St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. That's right. That's how they get the snakes out. That's the wall.
Yeah.
There it is from afar. What a location to build such a wall, eh? Right on the ocean.
Yeah. Let's pick out the most dangerous spot to haul all this and build. They need to protect one side to the other, right?
Yeah. It was a feud going on, right? Completely illogical. Completely illogical. I don't know how. Yeah, stay on your side of the wall.
Yeah.
Leprechauns. Yeah. Yeah, a double arch here. Interesting here as well. What's going on, you know? And then you have that blend between, is that supposed to be stone? Or is there a concrete aspect to all these old ones? Like, right. Well, they'll tell us this was hewn with hammer and chisel, right? Out of a piece of stone. Yeah, I don't know. You can see how the wall becomes one as well. And they'll attribute that to time, right?
Right, yeah.
Which makes no sense.
What happens after 1,000 years or 800 years? Okay. I don't know. The stones I see don't do anything. I know it's only been 30 years or so, but all the ones beaten with water or whatever constantly, I go back and there's nothing changed about it. So.
They don't melt into each other over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, right? Let's see what I can pull out here. All right.
Yeah. Probably bricking inside the concrete facade. Yeah.
Yeah. The ones that are still intact and occupied by the aristocracy families from the last couple hundred years are like halfway. They seem to be halfway melted, you know, the ones that were able to be salvaged. That's how I look at it.
Right.
You know, and they were able to inhabit these places that were still somewhat intact, but a lot of it was obliterated, I think.
Just imagine being one of the few that just are walking around and asking yourself, where are we? Right after the last or cataclysm happened or whatever. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it'd be very disorienting. That's like a collective trauma. It has to be, you know, amnesia, trauma. Yeah. Let's see here. I'll try and get to some of the ones that really show the blend of the brick and what we call stone. Interesting though. This is just the coastlines. You could see what look like walls or the remains of some structure. And then on top, you do see the remain of structure, you know, and that's actually, if you look close, that looks like it's in line with that seam right there.
Yep.
And that seam travels down here and it becomes a bit of what we might call a wall again.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I know the subject's caught on tremendously in the last couple of years, but it should be, it should be everywhere.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I came late to this, but I still feel like I'm early. You know, some of the in many ways, people that are doing this are groundbreakers, pioneers, and to a whole new perspective of our reality.
Definitely.
And then, it's not an easy thing to do. It's much easier to toe the line and start a YouTube channel that covers sports and stupid stuff. And this is the area that you risk ridicule by even suggesting such a thing.
Yep.
And then you have to know that the punches will come, and you have to be able to take those punches, right, and say, no, I'm quite confident what I'm seeing is inconsistent with what we've been taught. Quite confident.
Right.
Yeah, and I can't say, I'm not going to come out and say in 1702 there was a massive cataclysm and this is what, the ether or whatever. I don't know. I'm not. I can never come out and tell you I know exactly what happened and what happened.
Yeah, me neither. I'm with you.
And if anyone tries to tell you that, I would be wary for sure. But we can speculate all we want.
Yeah. Those are actual theories.
Yeah.
The theories of geology, I mean, it just didn't even make sense. So at least we're trying to make some sense of it.
That's why I love I love Pants on the Ground too, and he pokes at the geologist of the year. I can't remember, some guy from
Yeah.
Washington University.
The guy with the bow tie.
Yeah.
They love those bow ties.
Oh man, he just peppers them. It's so good. The guy's just so certain that this rock was formed 2 million years ago or 20 million years ago.
Yeah.
And when it's just absurd. The certainty, the ego involved is just
Big
maddening.
Time. Yeah. Well, when you pay a lot of money, get through the school, and then you paid a lot of money to say what he's saying, he might just be totally into it and believing 100% what he's talking about. So.
Well, he's fully invested for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Although, you never know. When you become in the know at some level, I would suspect you have to protect the illusion at all costs.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Let's see. Here we go. This is showing you a little bit more of the two phases. We still have the red brick here.
Yeah.
And then you have what we'll call stone around it. Similar. Again, you're seeing those colors coming out, right?
Yeah. Little pieces of brick everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's important to show that, how that blending, and then to point out that, it's not, maybe there too. It's not a construction method. It's not a logical construction method at all. It's post cataclysm, and it's what was left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's a little taste of Ireland, and again, they all have that look, right? And the problem with the red bricks, when you put a few red bricks in a structure like this, is it actually blows the narrative out of the water, because it's either one or the other for the historical narrative on this stuff, and it can't be both. So when you see that, you immediately know that there's something wrong with the story. Again, you have the slit window, the arrows, right? The windows for the arrows, and it looks damaged to me. This looks so damaged to me. It doesn't make sense. The mortar leaching out and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, everything's missing. The roof, the walls, it's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
They attribute it to probably war or something. Who knows? But
and I think a lot of the countrysides, most of the structure, maybe they came across a structure like this, and then they did end up finishing up a wall, put a door in, and put a roof on, maybe a thatched roof or something like that.
Yep.
And a family may have inhabited it for the last 150, 200 years, possibly, depending on timelines. And in their mind, it's the way it always was.
Right.
See this? Heck is that?
Bricks right in the middle of that.
Repair job.
Yep. Bring a pallet of bricks in. We're going to repair this.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to jump to your finds? Ready to hop over?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
let's see here. Let me find which one I wanted to start with here. So think okay. Let's see. Let's back up. Well, all right. So I went down to Fort Gaines. It's on Dolphin Island, the very bottom of Alabama, and it's just a quick where it's kind of at, and it's right across from another star fort, Fort Morgan. Now this is the bridge that gets to it is what I'm pointing out there, right there. So just thinking 18. There's a lot of about to get into that. There's a lot of different dates here, but it's they say 1817, I think initially, or 1818. So any case, there was no bridge there. It's just there was an island, just like the Fort Morgan to the right of it. It's on a long peninsula, but they supposedly started building both. There's the one, and there's one, the Fort Morgan right there, but they both started building them the same time. So here we have 1817, it says here. And I went to a few different sites. Federal government started in 1817.
As a
Uh,
result of the War of 1812, this was like a reaction to the War of
yeah,
1812.
that's what the
Next time, this will not happen. Right? Is that the psychology there?
I
Right?
guess
Mm.
this is really confusing narrative and dates here. So it said 1817, and then here we have established 1821. Okay, it talks about it was the Battle of Mobile Bay and all that. Um, and here we have construction started in 1821. Well, it said it started in 1817, but okay, whatever.
4 years, no
Um,
biggie.
yeah, no big deal. And let's see, it just says it gets flooded a lot, stuff like that. Um, but then they ceased construction. Is that in the next one? Okay, here. And here it says originally designed in 1818, identical to Fort Morgan.
Hmm.
It was suspended in 1821. So you're getting all kind of different scenarios here. And see, and then although again authorized funding for the fort 1846, Congress they wouldn't fund it, and then it see, construction not begin until 1857. So they just suspended it during this time, supposedly, and then they started back on it in 1857.
Whoa, it's a bit
Just
of a gap.
yeah,
Hmm.
uh, they just
I just want
kind of
to. I just want to let people know I can comment in the chat as our melted reality. So if you see an our melted reality response, it's probably me.
those do. Oh yeah, that's because yeah, it does that. um, I don't know why. I think you can comment on your channel and it'll come up through you, but
That's
not
okay.
on the stream. This
I'll
is
just.
just a shot from a drone that
Yeah.
I took of the fort, just giving you a perspective of it. It's like a pentagon shaped star
Hmm.
fort, smaller than a lot others, but it's still pretty big.
Hmm.
And this, I'll show closer shots of this stuff, but that wall is just very weird. Um, let's see, take this out. Go here. I've got this two screen thing going on. Sometimes I'm still not used to it. Do you
So
use
when were you here recently?
at the sport?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there on what's today? Sunday. I was there Monday or
Oh,
Tuesday.
okay.
Yeah, it's very really recent.
Cool.
Um, And I'm just going to go how I took the pictures and video, but I want to start out with this wall. I'm trying to find it. I think this is it here. Yeah. So this is just a close up of this odd looking wall.
Hmm.
It's
Oh,
got
yeah.
brick all in it.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that one too.
Almost like a seashell effect
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah. Weird.
Very weird. But why would you ever just throw all this stuff together like that? Number one, but
Just
uh,
I can't even try to explain why you would ever build this way.
no. And it looks like it was an arch there going around, and they could have patched it up there, made patchwork. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of people there that day, and people just walk right by it. Like this is one of the most interesting spots of this place.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Hey, look.
You know.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah,
Look at that
and
one, eh? Speckled, red speckled.
exactly.
Wow.
It's all brick. Um, Mixed in those, but one side of the wall is kind of flat, the other one's just jetted out.
Hmm.
So very interesting there. Let's see where we start. Let's go here. This is towards the entrance here.
Oh, they had white bricks, I guess, eh? For the
Yeah,
corner.
I mean, like you wouldn't repair it like that. So how are these bricks doing that? It looks like heat.
Oh yeah,
It
clearly.
gets into that.
Yeah.
And some of these picks I'll go through quickly, and some I won't. But these are just that same wall, um, just bricks all in it. And this whole place has stuff like this. You think it's concrete and stuff, but it has these pieces of bricks all in it.
Hmm.
There. And this is the line of where it just goes to solid brick over here. Just
Hmm.
one of the most strange, odd looking, out of place walls that I've seen. Let's see. You got brick all on the ground level everywhere, obviously, and there'll be stonework too. I'll show. Let's see.
So this wall was kind of an anomaly.
Yeah,
Like, you
there was no other spot that looked like this.
surprised they left it up. I think they would
Yes.
have taken a sledge to that, and gotten rid
Yeah.
of it.
I was shocked
Hmm.
that it's still there. Um, this is just kind of right behind it, but you see a lot of this stuff laying everywhere.
Hmm.
It's just mangled brick, changing from this down to this stuff.
Yeah.
Just and these rooms, a lot of them were really small. Didn't really make any sense for what they were saying they were.
Hmm.
Um,
What were they saying they were?
some bedrooms, some where you keep the ammunition and stuff like that. Now this one was, they say this was which it could have been an oven and whatever. They put all this stage stuff around everything. It's pretty funny, but
Yeah.
and this could have been a fireplace or something. I don't know, but most of it were just quarters and storage facilities, units, whatever, and just normal fort stuff.
Yeah.
This was interesting. You have a piece of wood being mixed all in this.
Huh.
It looked like it was supposed to have brick and stuff over it, but it's gone.
Hmm.
Really quite strange. And this thing here was really weird with the bricks in the middle here. And we'll find there's tons of these everywhere, but they all look different.
Hmm. And are they covering something? Is there like a access below, or do you know? Did they say anything about those?
No, not here. I think they said that they were all like or cannon turrets, gun turrets,
Okay.
uh, but they're all different. Like this will be right next to it, and all this red you're seeing is just
Oh yeah.
bricks.
Yeah.
And now this one doesn't look as damaged as, as some of the other ones, like this one. This is all gone.
Hmm.
Really looks melted to me around all this because it was supposed to be a circle.
Yeah.
It's just completely gone.
Yeah. You see the outline a little bit. Hmm.
Just more there. And this one, this is completely gone. Looks like cooked out and melted.
Mm-hmm.
Like who knows? But
So they say these are mounts for cannons.
uh, I'm not sure if it was cannons or I guess it had to be cannons back then. They didn't have the huge whatever gun turrets or whatever. I can't never
Well,
remember the name of them, but
weren't
they
you
had
paying
two.
attention?
What's that?
Weren't you paying attention to the tour guide and his story?
They handed me a pamphlet. I briefly looked at it, and it's just a bunch of words, and I just threw it away. Um, they have two huge cannons when you walk in. They say they're original cannons, but I think they were moved. Um,
You
uh,
should take the tour and then just subtly cough, bullshit,
yeah,
bullshit, just in the middle.
exactly.
Yeah,
Which I
and
didn't
have your
even you didn't have a tour guide for this one, thank goodness. So you
yeah.
just walk in and go where you want. But
Or like we should start doing like counter pamphlets with like URLs to like YouTube sites for people that go. What do they call that?
that's a great
Like
idea.
bombing the tours. Yeah. Uh,
This spot actually, I went down. You could go below level here, and but this whole thing was just caved in,
yeah.
and
Weird.
all of this is brick internals
Hmm.
with the outer covering. It looks like, and this construction makes no sense if it was built like this, uh, or so they say. But bricks, and that's another thing. I try to look up how many bricks, and most of the time you can find. On every fort, oh, this is 18 million, 15 million, but I can't find anything on this one as far as here's your arrow where you put the arrow through.
Yeah. Yeah. Not very good in a cannon fight, I guess. Don't bring arrows to a cannon fight, right? Oh man,
But they're all different too. There's tons of them. I mean, there's
weird,
probably 50 or so of these on the walls, and they're all different.
weird.
Some of them are blocked up or bricked up, and some of them aren't. But
Look, oh
like
yeah,
when
look
I'm
how it's
looking at
blended.
this,
Look at the side of the brick and how but you can see how the brick blends right into the wall too, like the one above that one.
yeah, here,
Right. There's no separation there at all
no,
between it.
none.
It's fused. Everything's fused. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And this, what this brick's done here, where did all this go? They tell you that it's a lot of through the years storms and stuff damaged it, but you know you get flooded like this one's here. This one's closed up. I don't,
Hmm.
why is that closed up?
Hmm.
And it's changing here.
Yeah, that's not even what we would call a brick, right?
No,
It's already phased out to the next stage. Weird.
very weird.
Reminds
And
me a little bit about the boots on the ground one I showed you in the very beginning with the little white specks. You
yeah,
know, not the same, but very similar. Yeah. Hmm.
some crystallizing of it somehow.
Yeah.
This is just funny to me. They put this big sign, Battlomobile Bay, and it's supposed to hit right here, but they they have spots like this. Here's a close up shot of it, but all
Oh
over
yeah.
the place. And but this one was caused by a ship. Uh,
And it bent the bricks. It kind of looks like it bent them along the bottom there. The
yeah, this,
Chickasaw, the USS Chickasaw. Sorry.
yeah, and yeah, the bent part right here, like you're saying,
Yeah.
do that
It didn't
because
break the brick. It bent the brick.
it
Right.
bent it and turned
It
it to
curved.
rock
Yeah.
right here.
Uh, hmm.
Yeah, this was a interesting one here.
Oh yeah.
Like it was, I tried to pull it off, or I mean, it's just it's merged with the brick. Obviously, it's part of the brick, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wasn't real fragile or frail. You
It's
couldn't get
bruised.
any of it off.
It's a bruise, a brick bruise.
And just for yeah, brick bruise, I like that one.
Mm.
Um, just the different kind of bricks and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
they had to
Oh yeah.
haul all this by ship because this is on an island,
Hmm.
supposedly.
Yeah. In that shot alone, you're looking at the one you just had there. You're looking at 6 or 7 different colors of bricks right there.
Yeah,
Right. Like
they're
it's
everywhere.
some of them looking like stone. What we might, it's just yeah,
Yeah, how does a brick change like that just by sitting there?
time.
Yeah,
Just time.
it's just time. Just more of this stuff like this, just laying around everywhere. But this is all brick in it, and which I do believe too. All this had brick internals, and then you just had the outer covering. But,
Mhm.
and this right here, I'll start to get. I think there's a video right after that, but you have to duck like 2 feet. I'm 5'9", and I had to duck 2 feet just to go down this. So, who's building that and why?
Well, it's before they had the code requirements for headroom clearance. Must be right.
Exactly. Here it is right here. See, I'm standing up right here.
I don't even
And
think I would venture to go down there. I would have to crouch like quite a bit. Oh, it does look nice though.
yeah, it's quite impressive.
Wow.
Just
Hmm.
there's
Yeah, that's
only,
quality.
I mean, those soldiers back then could build some stuff.
Yeah,
You
they were all brickies.
know.
Yeah.
But just the amount of brick and all the mortar's different. It's either gone or changed or
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes it's smeared, looks smeared, and sometimes it's vacant. Right? It's interesting.
yes. Um,
Jeez.
here,
Claustrophobic. A lot of this feels claustrophobic to
yeah.
me.
Like I said, all these rooms are very small.
Mm.
Just makes no sense. There's way more brick than room in in these places.
Hmm.
All this brick, and this is metal here,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and this is metal here. Actually,
Mm.
it's sometimes it's hard to tell unless you're really close up to it.
Yeah.
And when I was in this room,
Ooh.
oh man, people were. I was taking pictures, and then I went in this dark room back here, but I would hear people just say, "Wow, look at that!" Just amazed at the construction.
Hmm.
And because it doesn't make sense. This whole thing is bending. Why would you ever do that?
Mm.
Which I've seen, and I know you have too. A lot of this kind of design higher up, or
Hmm.
like even in cathedrals and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah. Vaulted hallways and cathedrals. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's just
Degree of difficulty.
yeah,
Right.
it's amazing. Why wouldn't you just put a normal archway or just square it off? You're gonna you're going to get this intricate, or I can't say that word, but this detailed of a of a room, that
Mm-hmm.
ceiling, and just
Yeah, with a couple soldiers, right? They
yeah.
must have had a few pros on hand to help with the tough parts. Right. I think we had someone asking in the resonance in this area. What was the resonance like sound wise? Did you notice?
In this particular one,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Nah.
Um, um,
Look at that, eh? Whew.
yeah, this was. I really haven't seen anything like this before. They just cut
Wow.
like this.
Was that hammer and chisel cut? I
Oh,
mean, it
definitely.
looks saw cut to me.
Yeah, back
Like
in 1819, right?
that's with the old pedal saw, right? You use your foot to spin the blade. Maybe.
This was a dark room I went into. I got a small video of it,
Oh.
but the brickwork, and it doesn't like it slopes upwards. It's
Mm-hmm.
not even level. It comes down, and it's not even the same amount of. It gets skinnier a little bit here on down, but this very small room. Um, what's the purpose of this with all this brickwork?
Mm-hmm. That's strange. Very strange.
Here's the video of it, and the floor. A lot of these uh, had brick floors or stone floors, and then all of a sudden there's a one that's I'll show that you just have little bitty pieces of brick and mud that you're walking on.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
that's all
strange.
there is to that room. What's the purpose of that?
Yeah, the angle too. The angle bricks. That's really strange. Why
Mhm.
that's done. You know. This was to fortify the defenses for the next war.
Right.
So we're told. Oh, look who's
Yeah.
late. Look who's late to the party here.
Is
Freya. Freya.
Freya.
Freya. Yeah.
Greetings, Freya. And this reminds me of like you could say mud flood or whatever. And it was not built like this. This just runs into a wall. There's nothing down here.
Yeah.
It looks like it was coming down, melting down to me. And
Hmm.
this is what you have left.
Weird.
Very
It's just
weird.
it's so frivolous with the use of brick. You know.
Right. And like the mortar's gone on most of this, at least halfway. And then you have this up top, which is really strange to me.
Hmm.
Uh, all the mortar still buckled out from the brick.
Hmm.
It's just a short walk through there. Just the buildings. Then they have this cement looking stuff, just a few buildings in the middle of it. There's that wall. But here is strange. You have these lines. You see the construction lines, the brickwork to me on the inside, and then it changes to this pebbling creek looking stuff,
Hmm. Hmm.
possibly the outer covering.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a closer shot right there. But
Yes. Yeah. There's horizontal lines. So their story is all of this was all done at the same time, pretty much. Do you know?
yeah, well, it seems like they started on it in 1817, and then they halted it somewhere around 1821. Then they didn't start back on it until 1854 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it went on for till the Civil War, whatever, or something like that. And it was never complete. I mean, this certain fort is all over the place on the narrative.
Hmm.
I think they do that because there's so many different things here. Um, like
Hmm.
it doesn't look like it was constructed at the same time because there's so many different things.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Concrete, the brick, the stone floors, the brick floors. It's just, I just took a picture of this. I don't know. It's just sitting there in the ground. I don't know.
Huh.
No, they didn't even have a plaque beside it.
Hmm.
Um, and you go into places like this, and it's not very big at all. They call it the magazine. I guess they kept the bullets.
Oh.
Now here it was very strange. Obviously, first of all, now this wall goes all the way back. I don't know, 10, 15 feet. But you're going to build something so close to it like this. I mean, how? I don't know.
Oh, how do you form that if that's supposed to be concrete with that there? Right? Like, yeah,
Right. Exactly.
makes no sense.
It's it's too close. Um,
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. You can't get any sort of false work in there to do that.
mm-mm.
Strange.
They just who would ever just build like that anyway on this half wall? They that big in of a hurry. All the
Just,
Union armies coming and
yeah,
yeah,
puking out the mortar. Right? They forgot to clean the extra mortar in this one section.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Weird.
let's see. And they put these little props and chairs and but here like this piece of granite or whatever. I mean, are you really doing that back then?
Hmm.
Why don't you just continue with the brick?
Mm-hmm. Do an arch. You're so good at arches. Why don't you
Yeah.
just do an arch?
And speaking of arches, there's this is has two or three arches in this room, and this metal, huge iron beams for a very small room.
Mm-hmm.
They put the bookshelves and the bed in there.
Seem to have a really claustrophobic feel. These, to me, just looking at them, I don't know, bricks overhead and.
Yes, I think that's the same video. Let's see. Hey, this is like, and you start to get the stonework, which I'll show close here. Like you'll have that brick, obvious brick in the middle of all these
Mm-hmm.
stone plates, but they're all that those are also different.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them looking really melty. We'll
Weird.
get to, but so they were supposedly hauling all this from wherever on an
They
island.
they don't look like they're in the condition they were originally intended to be. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, like this one caught my eye. It just looks really melty.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Sinking in a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm. Some have
and
rounded corners, some don't. Right.
right.
Some have 90 corners, and some are really rounded. So. Hmm.
And the damage of a lot of these too, you'll have complete the ones like this that doesn't look damaged, and then you'll have this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just supposed to be living quarters. Just showing that because they probably painted all this white. Who knows? But just showing the brick internals here.
Mm-hmm.
These huge iron doors with the rivets. And this one was interesting because of what's going on all around it. Looks really damaged.
Yeah. Weird.
And I just like if you're building a fort, like why are you building this spot here?
That's the play area for the kids.
Yeah.
The daycare.
That's the daycare for
That's,
the three kids.
yeah. Had to bring their kids with them. Some of the soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Now
neat.
this one they had in a room, and it was let's here. I'll show what it says about this. The ship's rudder section of the ship's rudder was blah blah blah. Expert analysis has determined the following was sailing ship probably between
Probably.
1800 and 1850. Wow.
Whoa, that's a wide range.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then they put this over it, the copper for shipworms, which I've never even heard of that. Have you heard of that? Shipworms?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So But really crazy piece. It's
Hmm.
all wood, and then it has all this copper around it, and
Yeah.
looks like copper nailing or something. Bolts in the wood also.
Yeah. I like
So
how they say probably, and then they say a
yeah,
50-year time period. So 50 years is not enough for them to pinpoint. They have to say probably, which is give or take.
yeah,
We have no idea when this is from.
yeah. We have no clue.
Should just
Basically,
say
what
that.
they're saying.
Yeah.
Um, that's just in the same room. That's interesting how that's bent, but
Hmm.
just pieces they found. More brick. And you have brick like this, it's just obviously charred and cooked. And there you go with the little
Yeah.
crystallization here.
Definitely.
Pieces.
Definitely. Cool.
And then cooked out right here.
Hmm.
Okay, here's the one of the floors in one of the buildings.
Hmm.
And why does the floor look like this? Because all the other ones have brick or stone, and this one's just
Yeah.
mangled.
Churned and then flash solidified or something. Strange. Hmm.
Like you're saying, very claustrophobic.
Yeah. Get that feel. The arches overhead do that. The low arches give that
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of these. I even in my 5'9" self had to duck a little bit to get into the room.
Hmm. You think they would have gone an extra foot,
Right. Yeah.
right?
They're all leprechauns, right?
That's right. That's the theme. That's the theme of the day.
And they had these long brick ramps. They had like two or three of
Oh
them,
yeah.
which they
Look at
actually had stairs too. So, but yeah,
very melted though. That front part there, that closest. Yeah, go to the top of that if you could.
the top. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
go up.
here.
Yeah, right. You can see how it turns from brick to that right
Yep.
there.
And you got this line basically all the way down where it's changed
That's right.
from one to the other.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
I just had that because it was a big ass anchor.
From the
Everybody was
USS
taking their picture in front of it.
Yeah.
Admiral Fargut's. I don't know
Oh yeah.
how you say that.
Farragut's flagship,
Yeah.
the Civil War. Heard it was very civil. I don't know. American Civil War. I'm starting to think more and more that was just like that was like the hard start for North America of the new reality.
Yeah.
You know.
The Civil War is so strange. The pictures are strange.
Mhm.
The troops have got their hands on each other's legs, or it's just it's just
Nothing
weird,
fits right. The clothes don't fit right, and
right?
yeah, they have awkward looking faces, strange looking facial hair sometimes, and yeah. And
But this,
I was sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, no, go ahead, man.
Well, I was thinking, you have the population boom right after the
Mhm.
Civil War everywhere. It's kind of weird. It's like you think everybody like they don't really account for the dip in population after the Civil War, and you get this crazy boom of like hundreds and hundreds of percents of population increase in most of these cities. I think I mean, fresh in my mind is Kansas City, which right after the Civil War, it grows from like 4,000 people to 30,000 people in 10 years. And you see that everywhere, making very little sense. Um, I don't know how would they have been able to pick up the pieces of a civil war and just get going with society like that? It doesn't make sense to me. You know,
Yes,
I
yeah,
don't
well
know.
said. It makes no sense,
Yeah.
especially with the population. That's just I've seen some of those bricks before.
Oh
But
yeah.
this one was just sitting in here. It had piles of these bricks in this room. It was dark. This one even looked like it and could have been stamped, but
Yeah. I
who
th-
knows?
looks
But
like some sort of faded letters. Yeah.
yeah, um, all mortarless, basically. Now here's a spot, and I've got a couple of short videos on it. Um, this so it's in a hole. It's not very wide, whatever, and you go in. So and it's blocked by other walls. So I was at first you think, okay, storm, sand, whatever blew it in here, um, but
Hmm.
it was not sand. It was like a powder.
Hmm.
Uh, it just comes right off, and it feeds into the, of course, into the mortar. But it was not sand.
Maybe it's the old bakery.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, interesting.
It seems like it could possibly been the mortar.
You didn't see this in a lot of other places, eh?
I've
This
only
little
seen this in one spot, and I can't remember where it was, if it was a fort or if it was just a brick wall somewhere, and they had a little bit of this on it,
mm,
but not this much. Uh, Here's another spot. I grabbed some of this, but and the
yeah,
bricks look cooked.
yeah. The
But
colors
again,
changed. They're lighter color, right?
yeah.
Big black spots, bruises in there, brick bruises.
Hmm. And you would go from having mortar to having this powder.
Hmm.
It's kind of close up there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's
And
quite
in places where it's empty, the powder's gone, right?
right, is there's nothing there.
Hmm.
Just
Somebody says to taste it. Did you taste it at all? Is it salty?
no, I didn't want
Chuck-
to do that. It could have been lime or something, you know.
Oh, Shabu says he would have tasted it for sure.
I thought about grabbing some and taking it home, but
Yeah, put it in a little plastic case.
yeah, um, I don't know. Like I
Hmm.
said, I've only seen that once before, but this was just really weird. It's just sitting on the bricks, basically.
Hmm.
But honestly, there's not really much sand around this. I think that was, let's see, around or inside the fort or anything. You don't
Yeah,
have sand till outside of the fort. And
yeah.
there's a little bit of spots here and there, but this is just that same wall with the
Hmm.
bricks. Um,
Yeah, that flat rock look is interesting. Like almost shells, but like almost like a flat rock.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what really puzzled me too. The shell look. It wasn't anywhere else.
Hmm.
All in this stuff mixed with the bricks, but let's see. Let's see. Here's just another spot of cooked out brick. Looks like.
Yeah. You can see
And
they're deforming, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some a walkway, and like I've said before, yeah, there's boreholes in certain things, but I think these certain ones here are just brick lines left
Mm.
over,
Uh-huh.
melted out. They're all different directions.
Pretty consistent sizing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
shot at it. You know, again, why are you going from this to brick to stone plates to? I mean, it's just so different everywhere. And these are look like they're kind of expanding up. They're not flat. That's just a picture of the outside of the gun turrets or whatever they call them,
Yeah.
and cooked out here.
Hmm. So many too. So thick these walls. So many layers of
Yeah,
brick. You know.
exactly. And they say, "Oh, it was a fort." Well, there's millions of buildings like this with 10, 50 brick deep. I mean,
Mhm.
for what reason? You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, we're down to one brick now
Yeah.
for buildings now, right?
It's such a waste of resources, it seems like, you know, to
Right.
haul that much material, you know.
Um,
Hmm.
I got to get this off my screen. So yeah, it was a very weird Star Fort. It's in Dolphin Island, Fort Gaines. Do you have anything else to show or
I
today?
do, but
Okay.
you want to see something else quickly?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And
All right.
whenever you're done, I'm going to show you just something else real quickly too.
All right. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of one of my favorite spots. Um, Here, let's go. Spain. So I have a bunch of files divvied up by country. So I'll show you a little bit of Spain that I have
Ooh,
for you
nice.
guys. I might have
Ooh.
shown some of these in the past, but yeah. So the evidence is everywhere, right? And that's what I'm trying to show, I guess, with my files. You can see again the inconsistencies in the materials, right?
Yeah.
You have that uniform shape here. It's definitely looking very brick-like, and you have this crap up here and down here. You have crap underneath good stuff, right?
Right.
Which doesn't make sense. And you have the old clay tiles too.
Oh
Interesting.
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is kind of amazing how it is everywhere, too.
I know.
Realm wide.
Still boggles my mind.
Well, it's hard to envision what actually happened. I think that's where
Mhm.
a lot of people probably shut off.
Yep.
Because they can't envision what may have happened, they don't want to envision something having happened at all. And it
Right.
can be a mechanism a fail-safe mechanism, right? I love
Yeah.
this too. I like the blend of the clearly man-made and the what they'll say is geology, right?
Yeah.
And these European countries exhibit that quite well. Not just European countries, but you see the ruins and then you see the surrounding area, and it's all sort of part of the same thing. And they've got crappy backstories. A lot of them don't have much of a backstory at all. And what's interesting too is when you
Mhm.
get to some of these areas, um, you find close by you'll find either a dinosaur exhibit, like a big plastic dinosaurs where the kids can come see them, or
Oh
you'll
yeah.
find a caveman exhibit as well. Those are two um, deterrents they like to put out in front of us.
Yeah.
You know, just in case you got to that area and started thinking that this kind of looks like that, maybe they were all part of the same thing. Nope, there's a dinosaur exhibit over here.
You're right.
It is. I think it's part of. I think it's part of the mind control, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep your
they're
mind off of whatever you're really looking at.
yeah.
Basically.
They need our control our perception. They need to control our perception. You know, and that's what entertainment really is. I think entertainment, and it's a way for them to keep our attention on, so keep us from actually understanding this place and our place in this place, I guess. Yeah,
Yep.
like that, eh? Build around the
Mhm.
rocks.
Yeah.
Couple extras up here.
Yeah. Could you not pick a spot where you didn't have to do
Can-
that?
Boss, can we just start flat? It's so much
Yeah.
easier to
This
stack
level
these
somewhere, please.
things. Yeah. 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 Interesting material here. I don't even sure. You see how thin these are.
Yeah.
Right. What do they call these? The old aqueducts, I think,
Yeah.
running all over
Most of the
this.
time, I think that's what they call them.
But like the contradiction in material is what I like to highlight. Like this is nothing close to what this is,
No.
and then you go back to this. I mean, it's just, I don't know if they'll call this Roman. They might call it Roman. I think the whole Roman thing is again a distraction similar to dinosaurs and cavemen.
Yeah.
But they use that a lot in Europe. The Romans built this, and the Romans did that. The Romans melted this too. This is quite clearly
Yeah.
melted.
Obviously melted.
Clearly.
They call everything Roman or whatever here or there, but it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the United States, Canada. I mean, the Roman look,
Mm-hmm.
same realm wide.
Yeah, and it's just it's very it's a weak story as far as I'm concerned. Look at you looking at that. You can see that this goes all the way down there. You can see that, but they have you focused on this thing. Strange spot to build. Oh, here's a good one. Another one of those random walls in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. What about this little fella here? I didn't see him at first. I didn't know he was in there. That's the dog door. That's the dog door.
Yeah. He probably knows more about this place than the owner.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Similar to that one we saw in Ireland early on, though, isn't it? Just bridging a gap between two spots and not making a lot of sense. Actually, this is a good too. You can see on top the melt, right? How it's all fused as one.
Oh.
So even if the front face looks like separate stones, you can see here how they are all, have all been melted into one.
Mm-hmm.
That gives that away here on the top here.
Yeah, a lot of these cases you'll have the stonework on the outside and the internals will be just totally cooked.
Yeah, it's interesting. Making its way out toward the face of it, probably from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking from the inside out. Yeah, the old dams, right? Infrastructure from the old world, I think.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, if the dams were obviously here and they probably built some, repurposed or whatever, but they're all just repaired, really, to me.
Yeah, there's that one. There's the stone dam down in the States somewhere. One of the biggest stone dams in the world, I think. But I think a lot of them were stone and that they refaced. I think they found a lot of them and they were like that block work, massive megalithic block work, right?
Right.
Yeah. So many of these cities in Europe that are just like maybe mentioned earlier, people will find a ruin and then they'll build on it and flatten it off and put a roof on it,
Mm-hmm.
inhabit it, right? And for however many generations.
Yeah.
Kind of seems to be everywhere and anywhere. And Spain having a lot of that yellowy red color.
Yes.
We talked about Ireland having more of that grayish slate look. Well, Spain getting that this color more so. Let's play a game. Real or natural or man-made? Let's play a game. Hard to look at that any other way now, really.
It really is. There's no going back.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's really enjoyable to explore when you open your mind to this phenomenon. It can be addictive, really.
It can, because there's so much of it. It really is. It's like you're a kid just exploring with an open mind and looking at all this stuff way differently, and it all seems to fit. We're seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, you get a bit of an adrenaline rush too, especially when you talk to somebody who sees it as well. It's very exciting to converse about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have very many people to talk with besides streaming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Family gets. I found out earlier a few years ago they just get a little tired of you talking about it all the time. Like, look at this, look at this. So,
yeah, because they're not feeling it the same way that we're feeling it, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. And I'm not trying to sound exclusive. It's just I don't know. There's an energy to it, and you're tapped into it or you're not. Really,
Yep.
almost looking like we're Peru-ish, getting into more of that type of block work. The megalithic style here, and then you got these little junky things going on here. I'll show a few more here, and then I'll hop back over to what you got. I got loads and loads of these. This is like a downtime for me to search around and find evidence of post-cataclysm.
Yes, it can. The hours can slip away when you're doing that, right?
Yeah, it can be addictive, right? It can be addictive. Yes. Here's a good. Yeah, there's some red brick. There's even facade here. Little bits of facade still on it. And then, yeah, junked out. The rest of it looks like it's just cooked. A lot of these halfway, France, Spain, Italy, have a lot of these buildings that are kind of half melted and half somewhat inhabitable. Hard to pinpoint the timeline, even for the historical narrative.
Yeah, Chapu says most people realize on their deathbed. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
They're probably like, damn it. We could have been looking at all this stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, why didn't I look? I chose not to see. There's a bit of that too.
Yeah.
All right. You have something else you want to show? I could go on forever here, but probably.
Oh, I mean, go ahead, man. It's no problem. I'm just going to show you a few pics whenever you're done.
Let's see what else I can find here.
Yeah. No hurries.
Now, speaking of leprechauns.
You definitely have to be one. Little hobbit leprechaun.
I mean, what goes through your head when you see that in the woods? You're going for a hike, and there's a little plaque next door, and it says that the Spanish in the 1500s, blah blah. It's stupid, right?
It chiseled that out.
Yeah.
To hide.
It's so stupid.
I know.
Here's a good example of different types of what look like different types of materials as well. At the big block work, you've got a lot of the mortar oozing out. You have a lot of red brick in here too.
Yeah. Yeah, that mortar coming out.
Yeah, it's almost covering it, right? Giving it a coating of some sort.
It's a leprechaun Flintstone house there.
Well, this is from 10,000 years ago, the caveman era. They have a caveman exhibit just next to it, right? They showed how they lived in their loincloths.
And a T-Rex right beside it too.
Yeah, exactly. Just to make sure, just to dial you in on their timeline. Just dial you in. Darwin was a genius, right? Good old Darwin, a genius.
Yeah, these pictures, these last two are like man-made or natural, right?
I like that. I like how they bulge out. I think there's areas in Texas that have a lot of those too. I've looked down there before too. Very like this really prominent bulging with the lines. It's an interesting, like a cake or something almost like.
Right.
Like it's yeah. Oh, kind of getting to the fort look a little bit. The enclosure. Yep. Very narrow brickwork, flat pancake bricks. Right.
Wow, yeah, that's a great shot there.
Strange.
Those ceilings are a little higher than the forts.
Yeah. Built for the monks, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll pass it off to you. You show me what you got.
Okay. Let's see here. Where was that picture? I just show a few pics of this graveyard. in Mobile, Alabama. It's from 1816, it says, but it's pretty incredible place as far as brickwork. Let me try to find. Let's see. Where is okay?
Was it Jamie is talking? Are you talking about my lunch break? Sorry, Mark, to interrupt.
Oh no, go ahead.
He's I've seen people mention my lunch break. We're doing some cool videos.
Yeah.
Mentioned the melt early on. Haven't seen mention of the melt in quite some time. Hopefully, he's building up to a reveal.
Yeah, I heard somebody say this is months back that he mentioned the melt, and I tried to find the video on it, and I couldn't find it. I've watched a lot of his stuff, but I don't know what video it was. We were talking about the melt.
Touched on it early. I do remember seeing something. This would have been about a year ago, even. Yeah, he's definitely gathering a lot of subs.
Yeah, quickly. Which he does great stuff. His latest video is really good, talking about the population and how it seems like everything started around 1700 and just jetted from there as far as the population and the inventions, so-called inventions, all that. The money really wasn't invented until around then. So it was very interesting, his last video. Yeah, just this place, this. Like, what do you think of this personally?
Of the stone itself?
Well, I mean, to me, this is a cooked out piece of whatever. I don't know. It's not going to deteriorate like this, I wouldn't think.
No, the top definitely looks drippy.
It's just,
is there a date on that at all? 18 something?
yeah, now this says it doesn't have a day. It says September AD, which is, I don't know. Is that normal?
Wow,
September AD, 1820, and then it's gone. The date is 1820 something, 27 years. So
rounded edges for sure. Yeah, no, I'm seeing it for sure.
Just there's a lot of kooky stuff. That's the back of it.
Yeah,
a lot of kooky looking stuff here. Said I just want to. I'll get to a few. And now everything you're seeing here, besides these stones, is brick with covering. All this is brick internals. Everything.
Interesting. Old cemetery.
Yeah, they're the most interesting.
Mobile. This is in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, Mobile, Alabama. It's called Church Street. It's the oldest cemetery in Mobile, I think, with 1816 date on it. You can see the bricks in it, and the outer covering is just gone. And I want to show you like this whole thing here. The whole thing is brick, even all the way up here. Not in this picture, but I saw a brick spot in it. It's just a guy. I don't know the narrative on it yet. Really, it's just some guy that came down here. I don't know. 1801. And these blocks are weird on top of it. I want to get to let me get out of here, and I want to get to this one spot and show you. I think it's this one. Yeah. Let's see. Just let this roll for a second. But everything is brick. This whole place. It's got the whole thing. It's 4 acres. The whole thing's surrounded by a brick wall. And this piece right here. Let me go back. Well, I'll show it. But this stonework here, I'm looking at it, I'm like, was that repaired? And I don't think so. I think it changed to that.
Hmm.
I don't know, but
Strange. Yeah, definitely not a repair. That doesn't make sense. I don't think.
no, and it's exact. I mean, you can see the line going down,
Yeah, broke off.
and
Hmm.
they just have these bricks on that one side of it.
Weird, and it would do that to that, but not the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sitting on marble. It looks like.
Huh.
And there were spots where the ground had fallen in, and it just was like it just kept going down brick.
Hmm.
And this thing right here was weird. Looks techie.
Yeah.
Um,
Those mortar thing, like between them. I don't know.
yeah,
That's
I
weird.
guess I don't know. It's like this Pebblecrete, like with mortar or stuff changed to. I don't know.
Yeah. Certainly not resembling what it probably was originally intended to look like in any way.
Right. Looks more
Hmm.
like a top of a building.
Yeah, that's weird.
Something on top.
Yeah, cemeteries are weird, aren't they? There's a lot of strangeness.
Let's see.
A lot of obelisks in cemeteries too, hey?
Oh yeah, they're covered up with them.
Hmm.
Let's show this one here. All right. So this was actually open, broken open here. So you have this huge whatever, and then you go in here and it's just concrete. It's probably brick internals, but it just keeps going down.
Hmm.
Now, if you're putting bodies, why did you do that and then do all this around it?
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, but
Weird.
you can faintly see. I think I have a better picture. Let's see. You can faintly see over here on the right some lettering
Yeah.
that's gone. And then at first I was like, well, maybe they put all this together here and mortared it together, fixed it. But I don't think so. I think this is all original from whatever. But it
What what
gets.
what do you think is going on with the cemeteries? Do you think they're covering up what's below?
I think yes.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
think what the way they look too. They just they can pile. It's got these names and dates and stuff, and
Hmm.
I think they just put a narrative on it.
Hmm. A cover up.
Yes, and like I said, there could be bodies there. I don't know, but I think this is the same time period as the cataclysm, at least stuff like this.
Hmm.
Because number one, it doesn't make sense for even 200 years to just do this.
Hmm.
There's no wars, there's no nothing surrounding the narrative on it. So,
Hmm.
but it is very confusing because stuff looks very new, and then stuff looks very old as far as like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all brick internals here, and
Hmm.
I crawled in there a little bit, but it is a little creepy. So,
Yep.
and if somebody was to walk in there, I don't know, they might call the cops on me.
It's funny. It seems they use that creepiness as a detractor as well from investigating things, right? Everything gets slapped with a creepy, scary label, haunted label, and then
Yeah.
there's something associated with the mystery, you know, and that label.
A lot of this stuff sloped down, cracked. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this thing's just there's just so much weirdness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me
Oh
go
yeah.
before I go out of here. Let's do a couple of tips.
Yeah, Jamie's mentioning Patty's video. She was walking on a
Yeah,
rooftop in a cemetery. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah. Patty has some great ones on cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that one that you're talking about.
Patty's channel. Does someone want to put a link to Patty's channel in there for people that maybe don't know? I guess I could do that
Yeah.
too. But...
Where are you, Curtis? Curtis is good at that.
Okay. Throw it in and I'll put it up on the screen, guys. So.
Yeah, here's a brick I picked up, and you got that charred and bruised look everywhere.
Bruises. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
weird.
Popping out.
Mm-hmm. Be ironic if the forbidden fruit that Adam and Eve ate was a brick. That's funny.
But like this right side here and left is totally different. It's bowed out, and and you've got this stone that looks a little drippy, and then this stone is different. And over here, this one slopes down more than this side. So it's just very peculiar.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no really, archaeologists can't go in here. I mean, nobody can. It's a graveyard. It's protected.
Hands off. Sounds sacred and hands off. Yeah.
Yeah.
1824. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, what is that even made of?
Yeah, it's brick internals.
Brick internals with a concrete veneer over top of it.
Yeah, that's
in
all
1824. Is that what they were doing in 1824? They were using like a thin scratch coat of mortar or something like that.
Yeah, and then they're making a TP roof. I mean, what's the point of that? Like a triangular, like a rooftop.
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah.
But yeah, this is just showing. So you can see the brick internals here. It's all.
Yep. Yeah, you can see the brick poking out there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right there. Brick.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And this was all brick.
Yeah, you can see it there again. Mm-hmm.
Continues over here.
Strange, the shape again. That's a hip style roof. That shape coming up from the corners.
Yeah. Huh. Hip style.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called, actually?
Hip, yeah. 40. The line's coming up at a 45 from the corner. Oh. It's a hip. Yeah. Cool. I mean, the brickies had fun, eh? The brickies
did. Fun. That's the thing to do back then, I guess, is start putting bricks together somewhere.
Yeah.
That's just that one. Let's run through here real quick. I'm actually going to make a video of this, but hey, this was strange actually when I'm here. All of a sudden, I look behind me and there's a swarm of, I don't know what it was, but it was only there for 5 minutes and it disappeared. I was thinking, well, maybe I should go.
Yeah, that's creepy again, right? They released the bugs on you. This guy's been here too long. He's got his camera out.
Yeah, he's got drone camera. We got to get rid of this guy. Yeah, the whole internals just brick.
Yeah. There's Freya's channel. Just sharing some channels on here on the chat. Yeah.
Let's see. That one. Sorry to be just going randomly through here, but
yeah, no worries.
Let's see. More 1820 dates, 1840.
Yeah.
And this brick there, just why does it look like that? How did it change like that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we know there was a high heat event. I'm just curious, pick your brain. Do you think in one big event, series of aftershocks, or a cyclical?
That was one big event. Now I still think there was one major event, and then possibly just destroying stuff here or there. of course, with wars, but maybe something we don't even know.
Mm.
That caused this kind of damage,
A
and they
weapon.
used that same kind of weapon, maybe, or however, and
Mm.
damaged other stuff too. That was just too mind blowing, or didn't make sense, maybe. But I do, because we're just seeing the same things everywhere, and so I
Yeah.
do think there was one major event,
Yeah.
and I do think that was recent. I have no idea, but
Yeah.
300 years, whatever.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
when that the population started to spike,
Yeah.
it was right before then at some point to me.
Yeah. There. Yeah. I think a major event that transformed this realm completely. Really hard to envision what it looked like before, obviously, and after that, yeah,
Yeah,
a cleanup operation, a reclaiming or a claiming by the dark forces, let's say, a claiming of the
yeah,
realm, and yeah.
yeah. It's man, you could go on forever thinking about it. Now,
Hmm.
granted, we've done a good job, everybody, at trying to put some of this stuff together, and at least we're showing that something's off. We've been taught a complete lie,
Hmm.
because there's no proof of it. Number one, and then you put millions of years or thousands or whatever on everything, and so it's at least it's getting people thinking differently. So
Yeah, I think we can get closer to the truth there. A lot of it has been kept from us. I think when we get into like the Smithsonian organizations, the Vatican, um, a lot of post-secondary institutions. I think a lot of the information, the truth of the our past, is being kept from us, and I think there is more out there that people need access to.
mhm.
How we get access to it, I don't know, but I think there is more. You know,
Yeah, it's just a shame we don't know where we come from or really where we're at. Um,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. We're
something.
like orphans. Collectively, we're orphans.
Yeah,
And we
yeah. I
didn't
think
come from monkeys, right?
right.
That's bullshit. That's Darwin. That's Royal Society bullshit.
Yep.
And we don't need it. We don't need it anymore, right? We know it's a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time, if you try to trace your ancestors back, it only goes to like the early 1800s or something. Most of the time, um,
Yep, I've heard the same. Yeah.
I've known a few people that do that. Even some that have paid money, I would never do that up to those sites or whatever. And then it'll give them like I don't know, like your 10th cousin, the queen, whoever the fourth. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. It stops at around the
Yeah.
1800s. So
Yeah. I wouldn't don't recommend giving your DNA sample to a
no,
unknown organization.
no, they came
Yeah.
out of that a while back, and I knew instantly. This is before I started doing any of this, whatever. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that sounds like a bad idea."
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody being here. Do you want to show anything else, Chris, or are you good?
I should probably call her and get to do some yard work as well today. While the
Yeah,
sun's shining here, we'll take
yeah,
advantage of it.
we're oh nice. Yeah, I cut some grass yesterday, but it rained and it's very wet right now. But
Oh, well, we're
yeah,
about a month and a half away from cutting any grass up here.
oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
what we just started. So um,
Yeah.
month and a half. So you don't start cutting grass till what, April or
End of
May?
April. Often we don't. The snow doesn't melt till mid to late April here. We don't seed our gardens till May long weekend, which is third week in May.
Oh wow,
Yeah, short growing season up here.
yeah.
Mhm.
What we can plant. Like there usually is a frost in March, so I wait till very beginning of April. But it goes till like November, the growing season. So
We got sometimes we'll get a frost in the early June,
wow,
and growing season's done by mid September usually, depending on unless it's a kale or something hardy, and it'll go into early October. But, yeah,
wow. Well, I want to thank you, man. It's great hanging out with you, Chris.
yeah,
Uh, like
this is
always,
fun.
and like you were saying, I need to get together with Kairos and
Yeah.
chat amongst ourselves and show some evidence. But
Yeah, we'll do another one soon for sure.
and I did want to thank you face to face for the books. I appreciate it. And like I was saying earlier, guys, check them out. They're wonderful, detailed, great books. You'll get addicted to it looking at it. Just the incredible pictures and stuff that you put together, and with the narratives that they give us, and possible
Yeah.
builds.
Yeah, it
It's,
should help people that aren't into this. Like, should help get them scratching their heads a little bit, maybe. Maybe if you want to introduce somebody to the old world and you're not sure where, you don't want to jump straight to everything is melted buildings, because that scares the shit out of a lot of people.
yes,
But you want to share what you're seeing with people. Maybe this is a good way to do it. Here, look what they tore down in 1960, in
mm-hmm.
Cleveland or whatever it might be. That was the intention, just sort of a gateway for people to start questioning reality.
Yes, because you could, like you said, I've talked to many people that do think that most of these buildings were already here and they were just found, like we're saying. So you get to that point, and then you can go further with it. But
Mm-hmm.
going straight to everything's just fried and melted, that sometimes that doesn't work out too well.
Sometimes you get an angry reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, thanks, Chris, and thanks everybody for hanging out with us. And we'll see y'all soon again. Peace out, everybody.
Take care.